Welcome once again. We're here live at the Vibe. What a great show to even be on. I'm here with a great team, The Conversation, man, and they're looking great tonight, as always. Miss Dr. Simone, and how you doing tonight, Dr. Simone? Wonderful. You just got back off a journey, man.
I sure did. We went and celebrated the homegoing of my dear grandfather, Reverend Gardner, and he's 94 years old.
Wow.
What a great
Wow.
94 years old, World War II veteran. What a wonderful salute to him.
Yes.
For his 8 children.
8.
43
Wow.
grandchildren. 67 great grandchildren. And 67 great grandchildren. And
Wow.
19
Great. Yeah.
And
Wow.
that's a legacy
Wow.
there.
It was a great weekend.
No doubt.
It was
Celebration.
awesome. Spending time with family.
No doubt. And it don't get no
Awesome.
better than that.
Yes, even though the situation
That's right.
was what it was.
That's right. That's right. That's
And
right.
we were just thankful that he had 94 years old.
That's such a blessing.
From his, what does the Bible talk about?
3 schools and 10. Yes.
But he had that and more. So
Wow.
we're grateful.
Bless man.
Thank you for asking. Thank
Bless
you guys for all of your support.
Yes.
During the time that family was going through the process. So thank you.
That's good. That's
You're
good.
welcome. Thank you. It's always good to see family members, but like you said, sometimes it's not at the most appropriate time. But hey, but I'm glad she went and got back safely.
Yeah, we are. So,
Lady G, how you doing
Yes,
tonight?
I am doing good. I'm doing real good. Had a pleasant weekend. Just didn't do too much. Just chillaxed. And but Saturday night we had a Bible study at our house. Yeah, we get together twice a month with some other couples, and we just get together and just share together and just spend time with the Lord together. Had a great time.
Great time. That's good.
Mhm.
That's good.
well,
But-
with me, OB,
Mr. Epic, what it do?
man, I'm trying to expand the culinary art skills, man. So at home, I, really need to really start bleeding off these steaks, weaning myself off the steaks.
No
And,
doubt, no doubt.
but I put together these nice steaks, ribeyes,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Put them
Red
on the
meat.
grill.
The show put
So-
what a woman, what a man wants, not what a woman
Right.
wants.
There you
So,
go.
hey, man, a man and his kids.
Yeah.
You gotta have that grill going.
Come on
So
now.
We had that grill out there, man. It was wasn't it a beautiful weekend?
It really was.
So really, truly enjoyed that, man. And still trying to add to the little culinary. Want to be a little chef on the side.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right, man. Cousin Maze, what it do? From the Bluff City, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, my way.
Absolutely.
How's your weekend?
Fam, it was a nice weekend.
Awesome.
Had a great time. Hung out with a friend. Went to the movies.
Oh man.
Out to eat to a new pizza joint, which was really interesting. Nice place downtown.
Y'all gonna let her get
Just
away with
talking
that
to
friend? I
I'm,
know.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
No,
Yeah, friend.
it's not. No, it's just a Toastmaster friend.
Oh, okay.
Just hanging out with one of my friends, Christina.
Oh,
Hanging
okay.
out,
Okay.
yeah.
A girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, a girlfriend.
No, y'all like,
Oh, she left that door
no,
wide
we're just
open.
hanging out. We're just hanging out, having fun. We're always busy. We're getting prepared for the contest season, so it's a lot of work to put into it. Volunteers, a menu, speakers, and everything. So we was sitting there doing that work first and played later.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fun is always good. Fun is always good. And I definitely had a great time this weekend. Very tired from doing so much work, trying to juggle a few
Yeah.
things. I shot one of my shorts last night.
Nice.
Congrats.
A little short called The Teacher. It's going to be a great little old short. We did it about 2 or 3 hours last night, but they shot all day. But other than that, hey, I cooked too. I did some wings also. Hey, we both had a little cooking experience, culinary, as you say. Oh yes, that's always. I used to burn up some stuff now.
Oh, I'm about to sit at your feet.
I,
man. I'm about to sit at
I
your feet.
spent a lot of money on getting good. Now, trust me.
Yeah.
But definitely, it's just an honor and a pleasure to always be here in the midst of you guys. each one of you brings so much energy to this show. And I'd just like to once again give my hands a round of applause to Miss Lady J for just having us. And her son here helping out. So, hey, we feel a part of this family as well. We're going to get on into the show. We hope everybody that's listening in the radio land and listening to our show, hope we're bringing you some good positive things that you can learn something from or get something from. And we plan to get better as we go. This is our second show. And, hey, we feel great about it. And we want you to feel good about it. So we're going to get on to our first topic for tonight. And it is a major topic. I'm scared of this one.
It's deep.
Because they put me in the middle of this because I am a man. And it is, what do a man want and what is the man wants and needs? And I think I'll let Miss Lady J start us off with that. She seemed like she knows some answers to that type of thing.
Well, me not being a man myself, so I had to get schooled a little bit,
No doubt.
by my own husband. So I had to, pose that question to him: what does a man want? What does a man need? And I think the biggest thing is for him to be supported and respected. In relationships, it is a must, and we should want to be able to do that because we love that person. It's something that should come natural, nothing that's forced. But one of the things that I had asked him about was, what can I do for you? And what he said was I had to be patient, with him, because we as women, we talk and get it out with our girlfriends or whatever. So we talk about it, whatever's bothering us. But men, they don't do that. They hold it in. They keep it to themselves and they think it out. And so they need time to do that. So we need to give them that time. And so just him sharing that with me, he said, yes. He said, we have to think things through while you women talk it through. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty okay. And that is true. I thought about that, and that is true. We'll call that girlfriend in a minute. Be like, girl, listen. But men, they don't do that. They don't call their guy friend, be like, hey, dude, look. No, it don't be like that. They try to figure that thing out themselves. And, they're always wanting to do what's best for us, especially for our home. And they just want that extra layer of support from their wife, from their partner. And that's what he shared with me, and I believe that. And so I had to step back and really think about, myself and making sure that I'm giving him the support that he needs, showing him that love and that respect. Because there are some times when I catch myself with that tone, that tone.
Oh, the tone.
The tone, yeah. That tone will get you in trouble. And it'll escalate the situation so bad, to an ugly place. And, and then, and what happens is they'll shut down. They'll shut down, and that communication is all messed up. So, and so that's my perspective on it. But I just know for myself, I'm growing and learning him, especially since we've been going through this couples Bible study group, and it's just been so awesome. We've only been doing it now for the last month, and we've been trying to get together twice a month. It's that deep. So we're just really learning a lot about each other, and just continuing to grow together in our marriage.
No doubt.
That's good.
Hey, Brother Epic, what do you have to add to that? That's great, please.
Well, I don't know, Brother OB. Should I even talk on behalf of the bros right now?
Yeah.
Because typically, the ladies, we let them. I know they got a lot to chime in on, so I'm going to go ahead and start with mine. It's what do men want or need? And I think even that topic is so good because being able to differentiate as a man, what are my wants and what are my needs, and prayerfully consider, Lord. That's our prayer, Lord. Don't let us sacrifice for what we need for what we want. Right. That takes a mature man, because we can be governed by our wants at times and miss out on what we need and find ourselves isolated and not growing. And we know that whatever don't grow dies.
No doubt.
So
That's deep.
Just being able to develop us. So in that developmental league, I always try to take things back to sports. I was talking to Dr. Simone earlier, and just saying, hey man, the developmental league, in the NBA you got the women's league, you got the e-sport league, but you also have the D league, and that's for players who on short contracts. That's the difference between the boyfriend and the husband. These NBA players, husband's going to be in it for the long term. They're going to have long term contracts. They want to be franchise players.
That's right.
But the D League, they're going to want to be their temporary contracts while they grow. So, us men, we can use that same parallel and say, hey, man, we got a lot of development to go, because particularly if in ways of, if we only think of it in the flesh, or to think that, look upon a woman and say the sum total of our wants is sex, then we're still in the D League.
Yeah.
And we're governed by our,
way more than that.
by our Gentiles. I'm gonna call them Gentiles. I'm gonna stay with the biblical version of them. If we're governed by the Gentiles, then we're still in that D League, and we still have a boyfriend mentality. Because if we switch over to a husband, we will understand that a husband will prepare themselves and prepare the household for a sanctuary. Because men needs peace; they want peace in their house.
Safe haven.
And I hear millions of men cry out, and they cry out and say, "Lord, make our homes a sanctuary and not a war zone."
Right.
And so they come home through those doors. They don't want any type of war. We don't want war. We don't want any type, because there's enough out there that we got to deal with as is. And so to come home to someone who's tooled up, because ladies got tools, they got skills. They got skills to tell you, hey man, this is how I feel. This is what, and not to, you got to be able to get to a man to notice that, hey, he has his emotions as well.
Oh yeah, that's deep. What is deep, man?
Wow, that's
Very
pretty
deep,
deep.
right
No
there.
empathy.
Emotions, we don't even talk about men.
Wow.
We cheated a little bit today, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And it was so funny because we were sitting at the table kind of discussing this. It's like, what are you going to say tonight?
Give me a preview.
A preview.
It was so funny because when he was talking about what he was saying, I was thinking almost the same thing, but he just broke it down into contracts and looking at the sports analogy, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
Wow.
I told him, I said, it's just pretty simple for me. I don't really know what men want. I am a woman. I don't know for sure. I can make some assumptions. I can guess at it. And I was thinking about the situation with men. What do they want? I was looking at it from two perspectives. And it's similar to what Epic was saying. Over here, I see it as the short term. I just want to have a good time. I want to have fun with this person. When I look upon her, they say that men are visual. So I can make the assumption that men, when they see you, regardless of how we look, attraction is based on the eye of the beholder.
I love it.
So men are visual.
That's it.
And that's his joke that said when Adam saw Eve, he said, "Whoa, man!" Because the first thing he saw was her looks.
That's right.
And I think that men, they are intrigued, number one, by how we look. I don't care if we're short, tall, if we're slim, if we are full-figured. It doesn't matter, but it's what is attractive to that man. I think that's the first thing that can get a lot of men's attention. They're just going to look at women. Not saying they're looking to look to lust. They're just going to look at her. And if there's an attraction, I think that is what draws a man towards a woman, in my opinion. And so you have that, but then you have the men who are drawn by a woman's looks, and they look at her, get to know her, and decide, well, I just want to date her, date other people, have a good time, have fun. He tells her, which I think is a good thing. And then you have some who want to do that and tells her, okay, this is what I want us to be, a couple, okay? And they want to do the short-term commitment, and I need companionship. I need someone to go out and have fun with. I need someone to go out and date and have a good time with. And then you have the flip side over here. You have some men, and he said the husband, but I think that they are the ones who are open to having a more committed relationship with a woman. And so with that comes the woman. So here you have short term, here you have I'm in it to win it, I want it long term. Here's a beautiful lady for my eyes, and I want to support her. Either one could be fine, but one weighs more than the other depending on what you want.
Long-term contract.
Right. So I just think that it depends on where he is in life.
True that.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with age, because sometimes you can find someone 25 who is ready for commitment, and someone who is 55 who's not, and vice versa. So I don't think it has anything to do with age. I don't think it has anything to do with income. But I think that they want women who are respectful of themselves. No man wants a woman who's been all around town. I don't think. I'm making an assumption, but I don't think so. I think they want her to carry her way in a regal type of way. That they can walk down the sidewalk with her and say, hey, this is my lady, whether it's short term, I'm just dating her, or I want this woman to be my wife, or this lady to be my wife. And I think that they want, as you did say, respect, but I know one thing about men that I do think is men, you all might not agree, but men like their ego stroked.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And if you can't stroke a man's ego, I think they kind of get bored with you, and there's nothing there for them, because they like to be king. And I'm not saying king like I'm in dominion, a man is in dominion over a woman. I'm not saying like that, but he wants to feel like a king of his king. And with that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It doesn't minimize a woman, because a woman wants to feel like a queen.
Kings and queens, I like that.
So in my opinion, I think those are the things. It's a balance. It just depends on where they are. I would think that those are some of the types of things that they want. So I may be way off, but I guess I didn't take a poll. I didn't take a poll. But I would assume that that would be yes.
But Dr. Simone, what if they're like, man, I'm not finna mess with anybody's ego? What if ladies are saying that, like, oh, you identify that men have egos, but what if some ladies say, man, I'm not, if he has an ego, I'm going the opposite direction?
Okay, we're talking about ladies, or we're talking about men?
Men.
So, if a lady says, I'm not going to stroke this ego, she might miss out on an opportunity to really have a loving relationship with someone. You know, and I'm not saying do it fake. You can tell if you're being fake.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
You know, there's some women out there, they'll just stroke the ego. You all already know. But doing it out of sincerity, you're doing it out of being authentic about it. I think it makes a difference, because they know when they're just being played. But I still think they like that. And, you know, people like to get compliments. And
be valued,
Yes, no doubt.
Okay, how about you, OB? We want to know. And we said, so did you take a poll?
Well, here's the deal, Dr. Simone. Here's the deal with me. I really don't know a whole lot to say, but I will say this, and that will be a lot. What I find in men, what a man really wants, I'm going to speak for me. We really don't know what we want. We really don't know what we want. It takes time to really figure out what we want. It takes time. And my deal is, I think what we need is what we don't want. And what we want is what we need. Don't need. Am I making sense?
Wow.
But in my deal, I think men are still hooked on to their mothers for so long. That's all they know. And they try to compare any woman they meet to that mother. Can she cook? She don't clean. And how your car dirty like this? And my mama car always stay clean. But we don't really know. But what I will say for me, my wants is just for a woman to want me. And if you want me, that's good enough for me. That's the start. The second deal is, if you're open with me, which means if we can share a sandwich. If you want to know what I need a woman that I know, if the lights go out, baby, don't worry about that. I got a candle. Let me get a candle. I need a woman, my type of woman. Y'all probably never found her, never seen her before. But I need the type of woman to where if I'm in the bathtub, she comes get in with me.
Okay.
So what I mean is, I need a ride or die. I need a, hey, baby, we ain't got enough cereal. Guess what, baby? Let's have cereal by candlelight this morning. Let's, you know what? Let's eat it in the bed. Don't put it in the little bowl. Let's get one big bowl. We gonna share the spoon. That's the kind of woman I need. I need somebody that the world don't matter. It's just us. And but it don't always work like that, which means I think by the time a man gets 1 or 2 relationships out the way, he can really take time now to think, back up and think. Cynthia was a beautiful girl. Everybody in school wanted her, and I was able to get her when I did. She wasn't all I thought, you know. Then my second college girl, I went with college, and everybody wanted her. She was some. You find out beauty ain't everything. You find out fine ain't everything. Yeah. So you find out that, hey, this lady with hair this short, you know, this lady with hair this short ain't so fine, but guess what? She always invite me to come eat at her room. She cooking some fish. She's always asking me, did I need anything? So for you know it or not, the lady that you married wasn't nowhere near what you used to.
Right.
So that's me and what a man wants. I'm going to just leave it at that. I really don't think they know.
I like that coming from short hair, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you know, for the last
All the women with the short hair.
Look here, for the last 50 years of my life, short hair wasn't in.
Right.
So to see it come in now and see how beautiful women's faces are, and don't knock the longer hair now, don't never like that, but I've always been a natural. If your hair's that, just curl it. Whatever the smallest curler you can get. Or slick it back. Put a part on this side. That don't matter to me. None of that matters to me. What matters to me is if you like me, we can do this thing.
That's good. That's good.
And I rest my case on that.
Wow. So, do you have any callers who want to call in and talk about this topic? Okay, let me give the number out.
Yeah, give the number out. Yeah, do that.
Because the maze finishes, we may have a caller, okay? Feel free to call 972-882-6146 to conversation. What do men want and need?
That's
Again,
right.
Conversation on HighVibe, 972-882-6146. So if you'd like to call in and tell us what men want and need, give us a call. Okay, Cousin Maze.
All right.
What's up, Cousin Maze?
Fam, what do men want and need? And I have to piggyback on what Dr. Simone said about how men need different things depending on the season in their lives. Men that are single, men that have been divorced, men that are widows, some that are mature, and some that are immature. They all need something different at that different time. I'm a firm believer in getting quite acquainted with a person and learning who he is, or that guy is, or, you know, for a woman, but we're talking about men right now. Getting to learn who that man is and where he is in his life at that time. And a lot of times we need to meet that man, well, for women, us women need to meet that man where he is at that time in his life and what his need. Because what we want at that time may not necessarily be what he want at that time. Are we willing to give him what he want and need? Or is it a deal breaker? You can't quite just, pardon me, I have a little under weather. It's different. They do need that emotional support as well. They need someone to be there for them, whatever it is they're going through. In some cases, I will say this from my experience of dating, you can only handle so much of what people go through. And depending on what it is, you may be able to stay and ride that storm out. But in some cases, you have to step back and let God handle that, because sometimes some situation that men go through is a little bit too much and it's not for you to handle. And you have to know when to check out, but we're not going to say that's the next topic later. But I think those things are important to understand what a man wants and needs, but also for the woman to understand what she's able to come to the table with and what she can do to add happiness. And I would tell men all day long, make sure the woman that you want to be with, she adds some happiness to your life and adds some great things to bring to the table. Because if she a woman that's destructive with her mouth, with her finances and all kinds of stuff, you really don't need her. Because what's happening right now in the dating scene is that some of the men are coming damaged very bad. Because either they were hurt, sometimes it stems from childhood, okay? Sometimes it's marriages or just dealing with women in life. And then we meet them and it's just like, wow. So it's a lot of different things that you have to look at that men do need. And you want to be that comforter. You want to be there for them and just help.
That's right. That's right.
But know when you can handle it and when you can't. And it's not anything personal for a man. They go for both ways.
Right.
It goes both ways. So those are some things we need to look at. But for the men, you know, we are here. We love the black men. All men in general. All men in general, black men right now. We love you. We support you guys. We're going to be here to do whatever we can for our men. Because right now, the time to stay right now, this is really crucial.
Can I slide in on what you said, Cousin Maze? And I got to really talk to my boy Epic about this. We're supposed to be this tough, this lion, as Dr. Simone said. We this lion, this tiger, this bear, whatever you want to be. Who do we cry to when we lose our job, or our girlfriend breaks up with us, or we lose a loved one, or he's having trouble? And I put it like this. I think most men nowadays are going through baby mama trauma. And she won't let me see my baby, and this and that, and you know, my brother and them trying to jump. I can't go by it. She got restraining orders.
Oh my gosh.
Seem like all the laws are against the black man in this day and time. As far as you can just sign a big paper, you can't see your baby no more unless somebody's there. And in between, you got to go to your grandma's house and see it. Women in this day and time play those little games with guys nowadays. So I see so many young men hurt, toe up, like you said, it is damaged. Whereas back in the day, old men, it wasn't like that. Regardless if that mom and dad got along, he's still able to come by and see his children. The grandmama's going to make sure that happens. You know, they going to let that girl see that boy, let that boy see that girl, whatever the case may be. No, you're not going to do that, you know, because you ain't doing them hurting the child. So, and that's what I say. And when I see men, when I watch that little stuff on court, on TV, who's the baby? Those men be hurt. Them young men be hurt when they find out they're not, you know. But like you say, you got to take that to another relationship now. So he's bringing all that hurt to the next lady. So what you said, Cousin Maze, we have to learn how to find out what stage they're in, and if that something might be too heavy for you, you know. Sister, Lady G, I can see you at 22 years old. You meet a guy at 25. He already got 2 little daughters. And the baby mamas out the projects, and look at here. Every time they see you with him, every time they don't want to jump on him no more. They want to jump on you. That might be a little too heavy. You wake up in the morning, your tires cut, you know, and you like, hey, them ain't even my children, you know.
Right.
You know, I just met the guy 2 months ago. So you was right about on the point with that, Cousin Maze and Dr. Shimon about that. But I just wanted to say a lot of men. Who was that said? Lady G said about we call our friends, we call our girlfriends. Some men don't want their buddies to know they in the shape they're in. So you know, you'll find them somewhere sitting in their truck by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer because it's too embarrassing to say, man, I called my old lady messing up. Man, I went through a phone. She was texting the dude work up at the barbershop. You know.
Crazy.
Yes. Hey, man, and them guys be hurt behind that. I mean, especially if they know the guy. it's even more. So
Pretty bad.
my point is, what a guy really needs, what he wants. I still say, I don't know. I'm 50 years old, and sometimes I wonder, myself, what do I really want from my woman, or what do I really want? Is it the regular old traditional, or what do I bring to the table new? What do I really want? I really don't know.
See, Obi, it's funny that you said that because I think as men, we so need other men.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
other men who are grounded, like spiritually.
Wow.
Yeah.
We need those mentors, to be able to look back and kind of help guide us. Because if we're out there on our own, we're isolated. And you know how the old saying says, it says, never let your past bleed over into your present and contaminate your future.
Yeah.
And like she was saying, oftentimes we come in, we broken, and we let that toxic contamination of our past bleed over into something else. And so we start searching for things. And what we want to do, there's three primary things when you start talking about any human relation. People want to do three things. They want to avoid pain, one. They want to seek pleasure, and they want to conserve energy. Those three things.
Yeah.
Avoid pain, seek pleasure, conserve energy. And so what we do, man, when we hurt, we just, oh man, okay, I want to get away. You usually get away isolated, and you start
Shut
seeking
down.
pleasure.
Yeah.
And so the lady who's coming in authentic and she's sincere about this relationship and she got your back, you're using her as medication.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
true.
good.
You're using her as
That's good.
medication.
Right. Wow.
Because you want to seek that pleasure, and then you want to do, you don't want to get up and work on anything, because relationships are hard work.
Yeah, it's hard work.
So you want to conserve that energy. You want what's easy.
So you're saying that it shouldn't be just if it happens, it happens. Some men think that relationships, it just happens, it happens.
Yeah.
What do you think about that ethic? Because some men are out there and they think that relationships don't work out. There's nothing we really have to work that hard on.
That's the conserving energy. That conserving energy is saying if it's too difficult, and we know that it should be opposite. The reality of it is, you look at it. That's why we need spiritual mentors.
Yeah.
Because the reality of it is, you work. It takes a lot of sacrifice. Because you got to give of yourself. So you're not avoiding pain. You're actually putting in work. And that work is going to make you a little bit uncomfortable. Any type of transformation, when two becomes one, it's going to be giving of yourself. And then the second part of it is you're going to start putting away self-gratification, temporary self-gratification.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm going to be in this for a long term, committed to this one woman. Because it's easy. What do they say? It's easier. A real man will commit to that one woman for 20 years versus committing, sharing his body with 20 women in 1 year. So the real man was gonna go away from those temporary gratification pieces and put in the work towards the relationship. But if he's hurt, he's not gonna put in any work.
He gonna shut down. He gonna shut
Got
down.
hurt. I'm gonna avoid this pain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna seek that pleasure. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna conserve that energy.
Yeah.
Man. Boy, that's bad there, man.
Yeah.
I like that, man.
And
I
it's
like that.
unfortunate for the next woman that thinks, I want to, really have a relationship with him, and he's broken, and there's nothing she can do, absolutely nothing, because he was so hurt from that previous relationship. He don't even want to give nobody else a real chance, and so it makes it hard, because she's really there for him, she's all for him, but he won't give her the time. He won't give that to her at all.
So the spiritual mentor will talk to the man through forgiveness and what you do with your pain. How you forgive and how you can mend those broken. And you can buddy up on that. And talk to a man to man, and say, hey man, we all have scars.
Right.
And so versus you feeling like you're isolated.
Right.
We all go through this.
Here's what I would say, that in that time of that hurt or that broken or that damage, cousin may say, I'm going to use me. I got to use me. I can't use nobody else. This is what'll make me know what I need in a woman as well. When I'm going through something and I come home, first of all, she done cooked a beautiful meal. Whatever you're going through, a meal is always good, man. And
Oh yeah.
the house is smelling good. The little LTD is on. Y'all probably too young to know anything about that. Jeffrey Osborne, Frank and Beverly. And here's the deal. It ain't about going anywhere. She comes out with your shirt on. And that's it. She got your shirt on. And you're like, what you doing with my shirt? And you might tease him a little bit, like, if this your shirt, take it. No, girl, you crazy. You done made him smile.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You done made him smile. But the main thing that evening, nobody massages anymore. Baby, come on, let me give you a massage. Vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the things a man need. Nobody rub feet no more. All these pedicure places on every corner. There's no need
Talk,
not.
OB, talk.
So, but then at the end of the day, rub the head. Nobody rubs the head anymore. Those are things that I like. I think I need is just to know that, hey, I got a clown here. I came in with a bad day. She turned my whole everything around, and we never left the house. You know what I'm saying? We didn't smoke a joint. We didn't had to have liquor. We ate a meal, and we just chilled. And she came out with my shirt on. No, that's my shirt, and told me to take it. Girl, if you don't get somewhere, before you know it, we having fun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We having fun.
Interesting. We're still seeing if we have any calls. We're going to take a break in a few minutes, but when we come back, if there's anyone interested in calling in at 972-882-6146, we will be available. And it looks like we're going to go to our next topic, right, OB?
Sounds great. Sounds
Our
great.
next topic will be when enough is enough.
Yeah. Judgment could have come. The one never take out culture for granted slavery, murder, red rum, yeah, murder the people them for no reason.
Part of my manners, but bitch, I can't stop it till I have raised up the standards. I'm overly focused, now my business gets handled. I gave you my heart and y'all just gon' take it for granted. They gon' make me start ranting, wait, they piss on my grave. They sleep on my music and then go listen to Panda. These niggas be claiming trip, I be faking and setting. They jamming that Lil Uzi, the rage of Atlanta. I'm just speaking on vultures who hold my culture for ransom. Yep, I hop on the beat and they get to throwing attention. They let that bullshit divide us and spread like a cancer. I'm building my army and we are coming for answers. Singing part of my manners, wait, death to your stereo. I'm killing they stereotype. I know some niggas that will bury your type. Armageddon, speak of the trap, but don't be living that life. I got some niggas that will bury your type with their arm and hammer. Keep it trill, never scared of a fight. I come through like a thief in the night. On my country grandma, piss on my grave, throw shade on my light. Can't hold me down, bitch, I'm down with the flight. And it's Armageddon, the armor, the Armageddon, the armor. I'm talking Armageddon, the armor, the Armageddon, the armor. Oh yes, it's Armageddon, the armor, the Armageddon, the armor. I'm talking Armageddon, the armor, the honor. Your mama, look, I'm tryna go lobby to lobby with some model chicks, body to body. They like T.I. flow, godly so godly. I feel like Ali Muhammad. I'm the greatest, now they all come surround me. They used to blame me on the far side, passing right by me. I see I'm out and I climbing. Global warming, they climbing. I'm in control like a pilot. I'm taking off like a rocket. It's ironic, look, took some time to find it, but now I move like Sonic out of space. I need a comet to go. I got some niggas that will bury your type. Armageddon, speak of the trap, but don't be living that life. I know some niggas that will bury your type with that armor hammer. Keep it trill, never scared of a fight. I come through like a thief in the night. On my country grandma, piss on my grave, throw shade on my light. Can't hold me down, bitch, I'm down with the flight. Alright, here we go. They can't kill my pain, so I drown in my sorrows. Goddamn, it's a shame. I can't kill my problems. I might go insane. I might not see tomorrow. They throw dirt on my name. I keep spitting fire. The armor, the armor, the armor. I'm talking armor, the armor. Oh yes, it's armor, get the armor, the armor, the armor, the armor, get the armor, the honor.
Gun ready for fire, man. For that, yeah, me tell them, I'ma get them, make them red.
It's so elusive.
Hey, hey, hey. And this goes out to all my LA sunshines, my LA girls. Yeah, this goes out to all my LA sunshines, my LA girls. Hey, 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 hey. I'm not trying to first base with your girl, I'm trying to own it. Not just in it for the moment. Can I hit it in the morning? Are you in first place? Tell me, baby, does he really notice? Are you loving in the motion? Ever showed your knees approaching? And I know you like to go to after parties in Vegas. Take a trip to Jamaica or pull up and go see the Lakers. And you are my LA sunshine, but we met in Decatur when you said you were cuffed up until your ex caught the vapors. Now you get lit at night. Lit at night. I got you at the crib right now. I'm really hoping that you spend the night. Spend the night. I'm not the only one to hit it, just the only one to hit it right. Hit it right. So when they ask you what you doing, girl, just tell them that you're living life. Living life. As long as it's lit at night. Lit at night. As long as it gets lit. Hey, lit, 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 lit. Girl, I swear you got me lit, lit, so lit, lit, lit. Them other girls can't get me lit like this. Can't fight this enlightenment. I like this excitement. I'm righteous, I'm man. I skywalk, float by them. See, I the king, I lead them, cause I'm so wise, man. I told them this lit your season, I'm gon' shine, man. Now I'm in LA with juice and lemon. Now you get lit at night, lit at night. I got you at the crib right now. I'm really hoping that you spend the night. Spend the night. I'm not the only one to hit it, just the only one to hit it right. Hit it right. Oh. So when they ask you what you doing, girl, just tell them that you're living life. Living life. As long as it's lit at night. Lit at night. Now you stay lit, 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 lit. Party never over. Lately I stopped drinking, but I'm never sober. Love the way you hip shake. Wonder what you doing later. Come and roll with a player. You can count this paper. Blue hunters to the new hunters, and I match my new Porsche. Holding on to the wheel, baby, and I know you feel this torque. Nah, I done got you to my room, baby. Please take off your shoes, and you know I roll this weed up, cause tonight there ain't no rules. Now you get lit at night, lit at night. I got you at the crib right now. I'm really hoping that you spend the night. Spend the night. I'm not the only one to hit it, just the only one to hit it right. Hit it right. So when they ask you what you doing, girl, just tell them that you're living life. Living life. As long as it's lit at night. Lit at night.
It's so elusive.
We're here live, and we just listened to Zion Iman. What a beautiful song, beautiful voice the man got. Hey, wish him big ups on his career this year.
Got to support our local artists, y'all.
No doubt.
Great.
No doubt. No
If
doubt.
we don't
Very-
support our own, who support us?
Come on,
then,
man.
You know,
Come on, man. Very
So-
great, good-looking young man too. I already know he's ready for the stage. He got stage presence
Stage
already.
presence.
Yeah. And he's rapping to a great little positive thing as well. His own style as well. All right, we back once again with the at the vibe with the conversation. What a great team and what a great conversation we're having. We left off talking about what do a man wants and what do he needs, and we've all heard some good talks from these young ladies here of what they think a man wants. But me and Mr. Epic here, we can only speak on what we know we want. So we're gonna keep it going for a few more minutes. Would anybody like to comment on again what any extra things on what a man needs and what a man wants?
Well, I think just the being able to have that companion to collaborate with. You know, oftentimes, like I said, it takes two whole people joining together. You know, we all have our past. You know, that union. What does it look like? You know, it's those two past histories coming together to make that one common future. So, with men, you know, we got to have our stuff together. You know, but at the same time, you know, the ladies will say, hey, we need you to have your stuff together. They'll keep us on that point. But ladies, we need you to have your stuff together too.
Absolutely.
You know, because we, you know, and oftentimes our ladies do. They really do. They have their stuff. But we want you to be able to bring it to the table. Because oftentimes our ladies are taught not to trust a man. So they may hold back on bringing their goodness to the table until he's tried and true. Till you maybe 10 years in, oh, wait a minute, baby, you got all of this? Where this been? But she wanted to vet you first. But we need it all out there. You know, now, understand that there's been a lot of ladies who have been hurt, but men have been hurt too. So, you know, what do? When we've got a hurt and broken community, someone's got to trust, and someone's got to invest, and someone's got to give, and take the risk of growing something.
So you think that women should give first, or men should give first, or whatever?
absolutely.
The women should give first,
I
or men should?
believe that men should give first.
Okay, I wanted to get clarification on that one.
He is, right, because that shows that, hey man, it's something that if you can give, you're not necessarily still injured. You can get out there and play.
What did you say, Cousin Mays? What did you say? You said men something. You pointed your finger there. I was just
The
something.
men are the givers.
Oh.
The women are the receivers.
Do men think that?
You give your seed, we give you. Baby,
That's
right?
Okay,
That's right.
okay.
That's
I was just
right.
wondering.
Believe that.
You know, you put us in a house, we make it our home, correct?
That's right.
At least that's what I've been taught by my folks back home.
I would say too that's definitely correct on what you're saying. A question that I have about what a man wants, what a man needs, is when the pressure comes of a man really don't know how to handle. I don't feel men handle pressure well. That's why I say he needs a woman that's pretty much equally yoked. It can't be. It's a difference in a girlfriend and my woman. There is a difference. My girlfriend is we in training. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
My woman means is we done walk across the river and we both almost drowned. We was been there. So whereas my girlfriend, if I'm going through something, she might rush me too fast, and I'll be like, you know, get back. You don't even understand. You know, but that woman's gonna say, don't push me off. When your woman is gonna say, Marvin. Now you get that mother feel. Don't you act like this over here like that. Come on, let's go. Don't let that get to you. Come on, let's get your keys. Let's go. That's your woman. Your girlfriend, she's standing there looking, watching you get in a fight. you watching it escalate. But your woman, that's what a man needs is a real woman, not a girlfriend. He needs a real woman. And I will say, to get a real woman, you pretty much got to have somebody that done been through some things. You know, that's why a lot of men like older women.
That's true.
A lot of men like older women. They've tried the young women at age, you know. But here this 27-year-old and I'm 21. Hey, the dinner, she ain't got to worry what you're cooking. All you got to do is call or just come home. So a lot of men fall to that, you know. But that's what I think, basically. I just think we got to be equally yoked. Man needs somebody equally yoked to really. We don't mind. Let me say this. I hope I don't step on no toes with this one. This is me. I watched my grandfather and great grandfather do my great grandmama and grandmother the same way. They brought their checks home. They cashed their checks, brought everything home and put it on the bed. They didn't take anything out. They stood there, and I watched my grandmother give my granddad $50. That's it. Everything else went for bills. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Now, in order for him to trust her with all that money, that's got to mean he turned over being a king to her being a queen. When you see a woman run that house, that means she done proved it herself. I'm not trying to be a king. I just want to be a queen. But you got to trust me. But she had to earn that. No man comes. No man comes in the house in this day and time and say, "Baby, there everything is. I'll holler at you in a minute." We don't do it. We're gonna say what you need. Let me see the bills. All right, well, here you go for that. Here you go for that. You don't know what he made. But if you're gonna be, when you with your woman, and that's what I feel a man really needs is a real woman. You're gonna lay it all out on the table, and she's gonna lay. She's not gonna play bingo and win 1,200 and bring 800 home. Your girlfriend might, but your woman's not gonna do that. I don't know. It took me a long time to get to where I am now, but if I cheat there, I cheat other places. Does that make sense? If you cheat with just your money, your check, or even withholding information, you know, if you cheat with that, you cheat with other things. A cheating mind is a cheating mind. Ain't no such thing as stick your fingers just on this.
Wow, that's profound.
Yeah, that's true.
So, man.
You know, I was listening, and we also got to be able to, when you start thinking about our community as a whole, we've been talking about what a man wants, but what does our community need and want from our men, from our men, our young men growing up? And I think we got to be able to possess a progressive mindset as men. The ladies have already shown that, you know, like I said, through education, there's gaps between the education of our females and males. We're way behind. And so they're more creative. They're scoring higher in math, science, their writing skills is high. And so if you get them, you put them up there in employment, well, who are you going to hire? Someone who's creative, someone who can write out, and their work is, they're real particular about their work. Who will you hire? Well, the ladies are going to get some of these jobs, but it's time for us men to build skills. We got to start building skills, and in those skills, we got to develop our relationships to say, we got to have the ability to learn and unlearn some things. What we've seen our previous people do in error. Some of these male stigmatisms, like I just come in the house and sit down and eat and belch, I want to be served, man, that's going to have to drop. You got to have the ability to come in and say, where can I serve? How can I serve? And let me be known as the chief servant in this house. So what can we do to progress collectively together? Because we so far behind as a community. No one gets to sit up and rest and say, I'm big, that's because of my sexual identity. We in this thing together. If you win, I win. If you lose, I lose. So we cannot faint at the ability to close this gap collectively and bring our family units together. And that means that man has got to be healed, and he's got to be progressive, and he's going to have skills. Got to have it.
And you're definitely right.
Looks like we have a caller.
Yes.
That's good stuff. Myself, I've had the pleasure to watch my son grow. He was raised, by his mother. My husband, he wasn't in the household. And I saw where he was struggling as a young father. Like I said, we had talked about this last week where, the man's not in the household. But now with him being, him and his father having a closer relationship now as he's, grown into a fine young man, takes care of his kids. I mean, has just turned his life around, and it's just such a beautiful thing to see as a mother, and to just watch him. Where I saw where he was at 5 years ago, and I see where he's at now. He was scared. He was just like, I don't know if I can do this. This is just a whole lot. But encouraging him, you can do this. You can do this, and he's doing really, really well. And I'm just really proud of him, and I just want to put that up there, Jeremiah. Mama's proud of you.
We have a caller? Okay, we have a caller here named Sharika. It's either your daughter or my cousin. We see which one. This is Sharika on the line. Hello, Sharika.
Hello, how y'all doing?
That is my
Doing great. I have a cousin named Sharika, and she has a daughter named Sharika, so I didn't know which one it was. How you doing, Sharika?
I'm well, thanks for asking. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. What do you have for us tonight?
I wanted to call in and commend, I'm not sure what his name is, the gentleman in the orange shirt.
Epic.
Epic, yes. When he stated, when he asked, what does the community want? And, he talked about the disparity in education and, specifically how black women are really pushing forward and advancing. I think that it is definitely important for men to, in accepting and realizing that, is also being comfortable and confident in themselves when they meet a woman like that, and don't get caught up in the notion that submission is a one-way street, because I think that in a lot of times when men meet women like that, it seems like a good thing until they don't have the confidence to deal with, that kind of woman, because they start to compare.
Okay, wow.
So, I hope that, that's something that they realize is, submission is, for both individuals, and most importantly, it's important for a man to submit to God. And when he submits to God, he'll get the confidence to deal with a woman who is progressive.
Okay, what do you think about that, Epic?
Oh, that's awesome.
Go, Sharika.
All right, Sharika. Nice. Any other questions for anyone on the panel, Sharika?
I don't think I have any questions right now. I just wanted to tell Epic that I'm glad that he stated what he stated.
Okay, we do appreciate you calling in, Sharika. You had some profound statements, and we appreciate you supporting the conversation.
Absolutely. And hey, Mama.
Have a good evening.
That's funny. Oh my goodness, that was good.
To add to, and I want somebody else to step in too. To add to, I left that out too. When the man, what he needs, he does need a good God-fearing woman. Yes. Even if she's not deeply in the church, she's got him up. Let's go. We're going. And even though she's empty, but she don't want to learn. And once she get him to go and get him comfortable going, showing him where, okay, I'm not going to force you to go every Sunday. But I do want you to go at least 2 Sundays out the month with me. And I want to go by myself. And if that's your woman, he's going to come on. But it's all in how you present it to him. 'Cause a lot of men rather stay at home, baby, come in, and they still ain't cooked nothing. They waiting on you to come in, get out your clothes, and cook. They ain't even took it out to throw it out. So, but I think a woman get a man to go to church with him, and that really kind of helps get things rolling as far as the relationship is concerned. Because if not, he won't respect her. If she's not going to church at all, he's going to let anything. I mean, that house is pretty much open for anything. You know what I mean? There ought to be some grounds that we just not going to do that here.
Right.
I never forget my grandfather. He used to want to buy food stamps from people. And my grandmother he bought some. Back when I was a little bitty boy. He brought them home. And I heard my grandmother telling him, "Take them back wherever you got them from. We don't need them here."
Wow.
And he did. And she would always tell me, he always would buy somebody had something hot. She said, "This house is blessed.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Yes.
bring that in here.
Mm.
Take it right back where you got. He take it right back, you know." But some guys, if he doesn't respect that woman, that's another deal. A guy needs a woman he can respect. He'll say, "This is my house. You know, I can bring this here if I want to." But if that's with your girlfriend. If it's really your woman, you're gonna at least think about it. You know what? I'm gonna carry this on back here. She right. We ain't had to borrow no money from nobody. This might be the devil coming in. You know.
Wow. Well, you know, our next topic, are you guys ready to go to the next topic? Our next topic is when enough is enough.
Wow.
When enough is enough. Now, we can talk about any part of when enough is enough. You might want to talk about a relationship. You might want to talk about when enough is enough at work. When enough is enough with family. Who wants to take the floor? When enough is enough.
You know, I would like to tie this in with Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone, you know, in publishing her book recently, author of the book. I mean, we can go right into, and should go right into domestic violence, you know, because that's rampant in our community. And of course, she just penned together a very awesome book. And so, Dr. Simone, can we kind of do the boomerang effect and give you that topic? We want to throw that right back at you because we feel like we got an expert in the room.
Well, let me say this. I want to say thank you to Miss Lotus because we went out to Brick House last Wednesday night with her crew of the HighVibe crew. What's that crew's name, Lotus? A man's point of view and a woman's point of view. And I tell you, we had an awesome time. We went live, and I was the moderator. So we had, I think there were 3 women and 3 men on the panel. And so we discussed domestic violence. And, you know, everybody had a different perspective of all the questions that I did ask.
Wow.
When is enough enough? And so many people look at things so differently. I've said that I have been a victim of domestic violence, not in my marriage. I joke about if it had been in my marriage, he would have woke up dead. No. No, he never did when I was a young adult. And so it's amazing how people have different perspectives on things and how people say things like, I wouldn't do that, or why does she do that? She must like that, and he must be crazy. He's letting that girl, you know. People can say things, but if you are not in that situation, you can never say anything about when enough is enough. Enough is enough when the person says it's enough. And unfortunately, things happen and we lose people because they don't say enough is enough soon enough. And so what we want to do and what I want to do is to educate other people to make a difference, to have the purpose of, with my book, Beneath the Scar, Rise to Healing, if I could save one life. I'm going to have some people come next week, and I have some gentlemen who are going to come on the air with us next week, and we're going to talk about this topic because we do know that this is Cancer Awareness Month, and we also know for breast cancer, and we also know that this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And all types of abuse go under the umbrella of domestic violence. And most of the times with domestic violence, we're talking about situations where there's conflict with intimate partners, okay? And we know with our society, heterosexual relationships that are not heterosexual, non-traditional relationships, sometimes people tend to forget that, or they want to close their eyes on that happening in society as well. So we're going to touch on some of those things next week, but there are a lot of things when enough is enough. Normally, usually, it's when that person's had enough. Hopefully, it's not too late. Because we know, and I'll reiterate this on next week, 4 to 5 million women are abused every year. And out of that, every 15 seconds, there's a woman abused. I don't know the stats for men, and I need to look it up because it does happen. It's not as prevalent. But we know that with domestic violence victims, the majority of the victims are women who die. You know, over 1,500 people, when you think about the state of Texas and how big it is and how many women lose their lives to domestic violence, it's just shattering. And so we're going to talk about that. Some people in relationships that are just toxic. And they don't know when enough is enough. And I know there are people out there listening, and they know of situations where I can ask the question, have you or anyone you know ever been a victim of domestic violence? And 99.9% of the time, when I ask that question, people will raise their hand.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's one of the things. When is enough enough, guys? Let's talk about relationships first. When is enough is enough? And you can be a woman, you can be a man in a situation, in a relationship. When is enough enough? From a woman's perspective, when is enough enough for a man's perspective? Let's talk about that a little bit. Because we all have to say, hey, this has to stop. Some people don't have the strength to do it, or the courage to do it, or the confidence to do it, or the resources to do it. Some people say, just walk away. It's not that simple.
That's true.
When you look at restraining orders, 50% of people who go get restraining orders, a lot of them end up injured or dead.
Wow.
So it's not that simple. And we're going to talk about that more next week. But as we talk here, when is enough enough?
Well, just to get it started, I think enough is enough when you have a relationship that both of you all are, call yourself in love, and you mix drugs with it. And I can't say any names, but I have a relative that I saw fight every Friday night. And her husband was a small guy, skinny. She was a big lady. I mean, like way double his size. She wanted to fight him. She wanted to fight him, I've seen my grandma break it up, Leave that man alone. That man gonna hit you and knock you. And he used to do it, but I think she got the best out throughout the years. But my point I'm trying to make is when enough's enough, after they both have broken up everything in the house, both of them got black eyes, or she done stabbed him, or whatever the case may be. The next day they back together walking to the store.
Like nothing ever happened.
Wow.
Like nothing ever happened. And guess what? Now,
Wow.
the neighbors have basically told them, y'all need to leave each other alone.
Yeah.
And they tried.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see her moping and walking down the street. She's so lonesome for 2 or 3 days. Now she'll make excuses for it. It was my fault. And I provoked it. So when is enough's enough? Wow. When y'all can't come to the grips that just loving each other and being normal people, and y'all have to fight and everything, I think enough is enough.
Okay. What about you, Cousin Mace?
That sound like they were addicted to just drama, period.
Well, like I said, I
Wow.
think the drugs had so much to do with it
Oh, the
too.
drugs,
The alcohol. Well, I ain't gonna say a bunch of drugs. Alcohol, liquor. They were, it was Friday night lights.
Hmm.
So
When enough is enough. Family, I will tell you this. When I set the standards of who I'm dating, how I want to be talked to and treated, it's not, it's set in stone how I want to be treated and talked to. Let's put it like that. Everyone's love language is different. That's totally fine. Because what I want, you may do something different, but that's okay. But if I'm constantly have to remind you that's not how I want to be treated or talked to, it's going to be a problem.
Right.
Because the way I feel about it, you're not caring about what I'm asking you to do or need. And it's not to be controlling, it's not that, but we women need to set some boundaries and standards. Because sometimes that just flies out through the door and people just take whatever it is that people hand to them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you have to teach people how you want to be treated. And I'm one of those people, I'm not going to tolerate it for very long at all. when you walk out, when enough is enough at the checkout point, it's when the relationship or friendship, it can be a job, it can be a family member, it can be something. When it starts causing you to have emotional, psychological, mental, and physical stress that's causing harm on your health, it is time to check out and go, because at that point it's not worth it. Because what end up happening too, other people will see it, and family and friends may not want to be around you because what it's doing to you. And sometimes you may miss out on opportunities and blessings because you're dealing with the wrong person or you're in the wrong situation. And I'm going to turn it over to Epic.
When is enough, Epic?
So, I think that question should be the framework for everything going in. You know, I think conversations need to go in and say people need to set down non-negotiables early on.
Yes.
Because you remember we were talking about what a man wanted and what a woman wanted. Those are good preludes to say, Lord, again, make our homes a sanctuary, not a war zone. And too many times, man, they're war zones. And because we know that, we got to know that we're both people and we're fragile people. Everyone's got to know that they're fragile. As hard as you think you are, you're really fragile. And so in knowing that you're dealing with another person, you got to set down non-negotiable. This is right here can never, ever, ever, ever happen. And so you let that know, you set that environment, what peace looks like going in. This is what it looks like. Now, granted, people, then you got to have boundaries within that framework. Like, okay, I got a couple that I know they go at it, but they made it this long because they got their boundaries and they don't go over that boundary that's set. Because, you know, the sister is a chaser. You know, she can go and chase this man all through the house, but guess what? They set a boundary out for the brother. Hey, man, you ain't going to just leave. You're not finna leave this house if I'm upset, because that's when you leave, you end up finding yourself in somebody else's home, and that's gonna drive her even more on. So no, you're not gonna leave the house. He said, well, where's my safe haven? So now he told her, hey, if I go in my bedroom, that's my, you can't come in my bedroom. And so she knows no matter if she's a chaser, she'll take him all through the bathroom, the utility room, giving it to him. But when he goes in the bedroom, she respects that. Saying, okay, I got to give him that. So that people can calm down, have those areas, they can calm down and chill out until you can come back out and address it again.
Okay.
So you got to have these type of, but again, that comes with mentors.
Yeah.
You know, someone's who's been there and done that and say, hey, y'all gonna have to do this and set this framework up in your house and respect that.
And me, I'm just sitting here just thinking, when is enough is enough. When you know that you've done all that you could, and you have given it your all from your heart to make a relationship work, whether it's a relationship that you're in, if it's with a family member, it doesn't matter, but you know that you've tried, and you've reached out, and it doesn't come back to you, and you try to figure out, well, what have I done? Because I've been in a relationship where I've tried to figure out, now, what did I do wrong? And then I've made that call and say, hey, what's going on? What's happened? And you just got to know, you know, when they say, oh, it's nothing, everything is good, but you know it's not. It's not the same. The relationship's not the same. So do you walk away, or do you just keep trying? Well, you're beating a dead horse by now. So you just got to know for yourself, in order for you, like you said, the emotional part, because you start stressing out. You're like, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? You know? And I was fortunate enough to be in a relationship with my ex-husband where I had to walk away from that relationship. And it had been years of us trying to make it work, and it always goes back to that foundation of knowing that you're out of God's will. And I knew then, but I was trying so hard to make it work after we got together and got married and everything, but it still didn't work. And I remember there was a night that had got into a fight. And that was the first time ever that it ever happened, and I had to fight. I had to fight for my life. And I did it and was able to walk away. And so many women and men are not able to do that. So I'm blessed to have been able to do that. But I knew I had to leave that situation, because if it started, it wasn't never going to end.
Yeah.
And I just made that determination for myself, because I had my daughter. And I said, you know, this is not the life that I signed up for. My forehead does not say everlasting. So I just decided, you know, I didn't want to be in that, and I knew I wanted better for myself. And and so I just made that decision to walk away and never look back, And you know, and that's just what I was able to do. And like I said, not everybody's able to do that. You know, they struggle with that thing. Do I stay? What did I do wrong?
So we're talking about relationships when enough is enough, but what do you do when there's a family member? Just say, for instance, it may be your brother, your sister, it may be one of your parents, it may be an extended relative, a cousin. What do you do when it's your family, when enough is enough? I mean, it could be anything.
What tell them, you can talk to them. I mean, I've even been to the point where I've been praying for, you know, relationships, and until they get ready to walk away, there's really nothing you can do yourself. Absolutely nothing. I mean, and years have went by. Years of life just stagnant, not able to move on.
Because you've seen that with some people, you know, as I did say, I went home for my grandfather's homegoing, and it was awesome to see all of my relatives there. But I've seen families where you have all these lines, the ancestral lines, and cousins don't know cousins from whatever the oldest generation. Right. And you have to say, for instance, someone has 5 kids, and you have all these families that start branching out, and they have nothing to do with other line, because it could be one thing that happened with 2 people in a family, and all of a sudden those lines are cut off.
Yeah.
So did they just determine enough was enough, and they just cut their family off? How long do you do it? How much do you do it? Right. I know we're to be prayerful, but when do you let go? The same thing with friends. You talked about that. You know, I think about the Tyler Perry movie where he talked about the seasons of people in our lives. Some people are the leaves, some people are the branches, and some people are just the trunk of the tree. They're going to always be there, and others just fly away with the wind if they're a leaf. And I do think that that's the case. And then sometimes I think it's just a season. I don't think that everyone is meant to be in your life for a lifetime. Right. There's some people, Marvin, OB, you know, back home. Yes. There's some people we will never talk with again. It's not that there is anything wrong, and we may have been best friends with them in high school, but that season has changed. But it wasn't a situation of enough is enough. So, but what do you do when it's a situation where enough is enough? And I think that it goes back to, someone talked about what type of emotional toll does it have for you, because I found that you can give so much of yourself till there's nothing left to give. Whether there's a relationship with your boyfriend or your husband, we know what the Bible says about marriage, or whether it is a relationship that you have with someone in your family, or a relationship you may have with a friend. But there comes a time, you know, even Paul talks about how he had to kick the dirt from under his feet and walk away, that we do have to walk away in order to continue to go on and be in the right state of mind and not live in the state of anguish. Because if you're in a state of anguish, you're in a state that is causing problems with your physical health, emotionally, it's impacting you. It's starting to impact people around you, your family. It may impact your husband or your wife or your siblings when you talk with them, or your friends, and that's all you're engaged with every time you have a conversation, and you can't get past it. That's when enough is enough for me. And I've had situations where enough was enough. And I'm one of those people, I like to hold on and nurture relationships. But every once in a while, there comes a time where some things just dissolve, and some things it just happens. Enough is enough. I got to do this, leave this alone, keep on walking, because if I don't, I am going to destroy myself.
Right.
And there's no one worth destroying yourself over.
It's not.
Whether it's with domestic violence, whether it's with a family relationship, or whether it's with husband, wife, or a friend.
That's right. And to add to that, Dr. Spoon, so well said, my thing has been with friends. I've had to let go several friends. I love them to death.
It hurt, don't it?
Yeah, and they don't understand that. I had a good friend, one of my best friends told me this. He had to make me understand this. He said that a friend is a relationship, whether if it's two guys. Hate to look at it like that. What do you mean? We ain't in no relationship. You're in a relationship.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's not a we sleeping together relationship, but it's a relationship.
Right.
And which means is you share with me what's going on in your house. I share with you what's going on in my house. If I talk to you at 8 o'clock in the morning, I mean, if we normally talk, that's when I'm calling.
Exactly.
And when you don't answer, hey man, what happened to you this morning? If I didn't care, I wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? We have a relationship. Well, man, I'm working hard right now, but I'm going to call you before I go to bed. I'm looking for that call. It's a relationship. Now, but what I can't do is I can't do the friends that tear you down from behind.
Woo!
But still want to be with you.
Hush up now.
They can't beat you.
It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here.
They can't beat you, so they've joined you. But while they're riding in your car, when you get out to pump gas, they tearing you down in your own car.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Is that a frenemy? They call them frenemies.
Yes,
Frenemies. Frenemies.
Then the other one, I can't do that one. I can't do that one.
Yeah.
Then the other one I can't do is that I'm always there for you, but you're never there for me.
Wow.
Ooh.
Take.
Yeah, I had to come get up at 11 o'clock at night to go get your car off the highway. But hey, my car broke down. Man, you can't call nobody else. Oh man, we just got in from the movies. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Wow.
My other one is when I'm steady pouring into you, and you never pouring anything back into me.
Oh wow.
That's
Never.
enough is enough. Never.
Now we know all things are not balanced, but never.
Never.
Wow.
Wow.
And my last one, and I'll be done. I rest my case. Turn it on over to Brother. I'll say when friends start to argue about their situation that they ask you your opinion on, and it flares up to where I'm the bad. I'm just trying to help. In other words, bro, if I can't be mad at you by how you helping me put my couch on the truck. You there to help. Come on, man, what's taking so long? How come you so slow? I can't be mad. I called you and asked you to come help me. You drove over my house and grabbed it. But I can't be mad how fast you pushed it, whatever. I'm saying, boy, you trying to get it on today? I got to work with you.
Yeah.
Or else I do it myself.
Yeah.
So my point is, when you ask me my opinion and it turns into an argument, I'm just, you ask me a question, or you know, my opinion doesn't count. So if it turns into where I'm looking like I'm the bad guy, enough's enough.
I know Cousin Maze is going to talk and Epic's going to call, but you know what I thought about with that? There's a saying: when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Wow.
Them.
That's awesome.
When someone shows you who they are,
Absolutely.
believe them.
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
Maya Angelou. Thank you.
Yes.
Maya Angelou.
And hey,
Yes.
enough is enough, man. It hurts on both sides.
On both sides.
On both sides.
Cousin Maze, Epic. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. When people show you who they are, don't look over it. Don't ignore it, please. because those signs are always there at the beginning. They're always there. Sometimes they come a little bit later because they're masked.
You've been reading my book. You've been reading my book.
No, but I need you to buy your book.
You've been reading it.
People masquerade with these masks on.
That's right. That's cool.
It eventually comes off.
Wow.
And then you'll see the true them.
It's deep right there now.
And a lot of times we ignore some of those things and we end up in situations we should have gotten out a long time ago. And sometimes we, in a way, cause ourselves a little heartache and pain and little grief because we didn't leave when we were supposed to or break that friendship or whatever the case may be. And I think it's very important that we use our instinct, our sixth sense, or our spirit within us. Definitely when it taps in and tell you something, you better listen. You better listen real quick. That's the warning.
Right.
That's the warning signal
Right.
there. To let you know it's gonna happen. It's bound to happen.
Miss Lotus and Miss Lady G, y'all probably never experienced this, but you got a friend that you're trying to go somewhere and they ride with you, but you gotta wait 30 minutes. They called you to see what time you're gonna be there, but when you pull up, you gotta wait 30 minutes for them every time to come out. I know me and Dr. Simone and Epic and Miss May, we done had them, but y'all don't think y'all done had them.
Oh my gosh.
You sitting at your car just sitting there. But they called you now. They invited you to go to the event. You dress. And I don't care what's going on, they're going to be 30
Every
minutes
time.
late.
Yeah.
Every time. Enough is enough. That's when, girl, I'm going to meet you there. Man, I'm going to meet you there. Hey, you drive, I see you there.
Yeah, you drive your own car.
Yeah. I have one of those friends.
God, that kills me right there. Brian Johnson taught me, I hate to call his name.
We have a caller on the line. We have another caller on the line.
Awesome.
Okay, this is Kevin.
Yeah, this is Kevin.
How are you doing, Kevin?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the conversation. Thank you for calling in. You have something you have something on your mind that you want to share with us tonight?
Yeah, well, I was invited by a friend to join the call, and I think the question on the table is what do men want and need? Is that accurate?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the first thing that kind of came to mind when the question was posed is I think understanding and appreciation, at least for me, someone who kind of understands the grind and the hard work that we kind of make happen or put in to make things happen, and then an appreciation for that from women in particular is something I think that I long for personally, and and it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman of romantic interest, but just women in general. Accolades and praises from mom figures, friends, and significant others and spouses. It's definitely something that helps us to continue the journey, press forward.
So you're saying when you know that you're working hard towards something, you want to have that recognition, to have someone tell you that you're doing well in supporting them. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. I think probably sum up in words of affirmation. And I know different folks have different ways they enjoy receiving love or recognition, but I think for me, those words of affirmation to let me know, you notice my effort and you appreciate it.
Okay. What do y'all think about this? Is Kevin. What do y'all think about what Kevin said?
That's nice.
You hear that, Kevin?
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
We all want to be rewarded. It feels so nice.
Any questions for anybody on the panel, Kevin? Or any comments about anything that's been said?
Yeah. Well, I just kind of got on a few minutes ago, but certainly wanted to give a shout out to my big bro, Mr. Kevin Miles.
Oh, Mr.
And,
Epic. Okay.
yeah. I learned everything I know from him.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe for Kev, kind of like what has worked in the past for you as it pertains to not kind of like crossing the line with a lady, and so let's say you're just trying to establish a friendship, and I guess I'm asking what boundaries and parameters did you kind of set in place to make sure certain lines aren't crossed, or not necessarily you, but what kind of advice would you give in that area?
Okay. Doesn't have to be you necessarily, Epic, but what kind of advice would you give? Great question.
Okay, so the question was what kind of boundaries, and Brother OB can help me out here, what kind of boundaries you set forth in a relationship going in the very beginning before you get in. And so, I want to kind of tie it in, if I can, to what we were saying about with domestic violence. I think you create, while the emotions are not there, it's good that the people know one another themselves, so they can know, okay, what does value look like to me? Value, this is what value looks like for me, and we want to have a high quality relationship. So we know that we got to both contribute to what this end product looks like of value. So we set those boundaries of what does appreciation, what does affirmation, what does value look like to you, and you don't cross that because you're doing it in a non-emotional state. For that same thing can help with domestic violence. I believe that once you start saying, hey man, this cannot ever happen, this can never occur. Now, do you still, because I told you we're fragile, we still have heartstrings attached, emotions attached, and you can say one thing in month 3, and then 15 years later, you're so accustomed to that, you don't want to pull away from that. But you got to remember, you made decisions where you both were clear in your thinking, because it's hard to make decisions when things are cloudy and your emotions are intact. But while you're clear, this is what value looks like for both of us. I'm going to treat you this way. This is what you're going to get from me. And the biggest thing from there is just to be consistent. Be consistent to intentionally pouring into that. So that's my framework, is be intentional, be consistent, and set the value up front.
How about that, Kevin?
Yeah, that was great, especially that sense of value piece. And I know I just joined the call, but I'm sure Kev has mentioned that already, and I probably missed all the wisdom nuggets around that. But yeah, just that sense of value and self-worth. A lot of times, we kind of settle, and because of just a lack of sense of value. And so that's very helpful. Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you. Lady G mentioned that earlier. She knew within herself, oh no, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah,
exactly.
Self-value what made her say, hey man, deuces on the go.
Kevin, do you mind if I ask you another question?
Kevin, yeah, sure.
When is enough? Let's say, for instance, you put all that you have into something, and it just doesn't work. It's not working. When is enough? It can be in a relationship with a young lady. It can be at work. It can be with a family member. When do you decide enough is enough?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, different people have different capacities and temperance, and just, So for me, enough is enough when I no longer am able to have a sense of joy, and
awesome.
And, for me, that joy is indicative of functioning within my purpose. So even if a task or a relationship is difficult, if I have joy, I know that I'm on purpose, and it's a joy that is kind of innate and derives from within, and it's not something I have to conjure up or manufacture. So to me, enough is enough at that point. Joy and peace are important to me.
All
If I don't have
right.
a sense of
All right,
peace
Those
and
two
joy
are compromised,
in the
man.
situation any longer, you know, it's like, okay, it's time to wrap this thing up.
All right, guys, let's give Kevin a hand. He did an outstanding job on those questions. Okay. Okay. Thank you so very much, Kevin, for calling out.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was awesome, guys.
Joy and peace. Once they're compromised, it's something else. So, as the African American community as a whole, you know, as we transition to our last topic, what do we want to see? You know, we identified some problems, but what do we want to see from the African American community in terms of building our communities, building our families, strengthening our individual relationships? What do we want to see?
I would say what I love to see, if nobody wants to take it, I want to see us stop looking for something and start ask yourself, what do I want, and what am I going to do, instead of waiting on apology. I hate to put this in, but it's kind of like what's going on today. I would love to see my black people realize, blacks and whites, in my point of view, we're never going to get together. I just believe that. We're never going to get together. And I think we're missing the point that God is really trying to make is if we were the first people on earth in Africa, that's what my history has taught me. Africa is the motherland.
Okay.
So I want to ask you all, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, what he look like arguing with Spud Webb? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God is saying, you are my chosen people. I made you tall. I made you muscular. I made you smart. If you look at some of the stuff that goes on in Africa for us, the artwork and the stuff how they make, they eat out, how they are smart people. So for anybody to call our people dumb or that is ridiculous. If we look at our human race, our black race, when we look at all the backup light and the red lights, we invented these type of things. So my point is, to me, if God was to come back today, he would be disappointed not in other people, not in other races, in us. I made you better than that. It's almost like, Dr. Simone, you at home fighting your little sister, and your mom went to the store. She ain't mad at your little sister. You know what I'm saying? She's mad at you. Because you know better, you're older, you're better. And that's what I want people to check your point, people to say that if you can get past this midget, this little, what do you mean this fly? If you can get past that, it's a mindset, you can go on to bigger and greater things.
You know, I have a little bit that I think about when you say that, when you talk about the state of the black community. I think about how we are a resilient people.
Yes, we are.
And when you think about slavery, coming in on slave ships, many didn't make it, bodies were thrown ashore.
Yes.
The ones who had the tenacious strength made it. They endured, came over, put in slavery, went through the years of slavery. We went through Reconstruction where we had more African Americans in Congress, in the Senate. And then we went through time and transcended through Jim Crow. So I'm a little bit different from you, Marvin, where I think that together people have to walk the walk to get where you need to go. Because had it not been for people who did not look like us, we wouldn't be sitting around this table. You know, and I know we all know that. But I think that I think about the Sankofa principle, and that Sankofa is often depicted in in pictures, it's a bird. It's an African bird.
Yes.
And she is running in one direction. Her feet are running in one direction, but yet her head is looking back.
Yep.
And what it symbolizes is that in order to move forward, you must first know from whence you've come. And I think a lot of what we've missed with what's going on in the black community is that grandma and grandpa, they worked hard, okay? Have we taught, sometimes we can't wait on other people. Have we taught our children different principles about money? We are consumers and not producers.
That's right.
And until we stop just consuming everything and not producing anything, and if we don't do that, we will perish. Forbes says by the year 2055, the African American Hispanic population, the average median income, if we keep going the direction we're going, would be 0. The average income, look it up. You can Google it. But what I want to continue to say about the Sankofa bird is that she's looking back in order to move forward, and in her beak there's a baby. And that symbolizes unboundless possibilities. But I think with other people who believe that everyone has a chance to move forward and not just in the mind of thinking that I want to hold you back, I think that's when changes are made, whether you're black, white, brown, purple, beige, it doesn't matter. But as far as the African American community, until we start teaching our children, have pride in yourself, know that you've come from kings and queens. It's not that because I am pro-black that I'm anti-white. That's not what it's about. It means that I want to develop my children, my children's children, and leave a legacy that they can be able to move forward and excel so they can be productive citizens. Do we have a caller? So does anyone else want to make a comment while we're waiting on the call? Maybe that's a call there.
I totally agree with you. I believe that it takes that base unit, and I think it starts with what we're discussing about what men want, what women want. These dialogues will be able to help us because we got to win at home. We got to win. We got to win by mending the relationship between men and women. And once we start establishing the victories at home, we can then start developing that community. But we got to be able to have real fruitful relationships between queens and kings in the African American community.
Okay, thank you, Epic. We have a caller, Ravel. Ravel, is that correct?
Raphael.
Oh, Raphael, you have some comments for tonight? We have about 10 minutes to go on our show, and I know we've talked about different things. We talked about what do men want and need. We've talked about when enough is enough. We've also talked about where do you go, what do we do to rebuild the African American community. So what would you like to talk about, Raphael?
I was going to go with the last topic, building the black community.
Yes.
First off, I would like to say that if we learn to strengthen our household, our families, I have a lot of friends that have babies by different guys, and the actual nucleus household is not present for them, but they'll date different guys, and then they'll bring different guys around and things like that. So the children aren't seeing an actual normal per se household. If we were to stop having babies by different guys, try to settle down, teach our daughters that they're worth something instead of looking at Atlanta Housewives and things like that, reality shows where the women are sleeping around and things like that, and we just get back to mom, dad, raising kids. I think that would that would strengthen our community. Right now, our kids are living in a fantasy world with reality TV.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they think that's the norm, and it's not. They want to be rappers. They want to be baby mamas. They're not trying to be lawyers and doctors and presidents anymore. So first, let's work in our house, strengthen our home before we can work on a community.
Okay, I think that's a profound statement, Ms. Raphael. And do you have any questions for anyone on the panel? We have Lady G. We have Epic. We call her Cousin Maze. It's Maze, but we call her Cousin Maze. And we have OB over there. So any comments or questions for any of our show hosts?
No, it was kind of hard to hear a couple of people, so no, I don't have a comment. I just heard like tidbits of stuff, but no, I don't have a comment.
Okay.
Thank you for allowing me to speak on the show.
We really appreciate you calling in, Raphael. Thank you so very much. Okay. Bye-bye.
And Raphael said a lot because in our community, you look at the viewers and the feedback of how many people are tuned in watching Atlanta Housewives.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Empire and Power, Scandal.
Yeah.
All these shows that shows kind of conflict between the man and the woman. And it's constantly perpetuated. But then there's economic empowerment, and you only get you get 1.5 million views on the scandals and all that, but then you only get 1,000 views, 1K, on sisters in the community really teaching the art of success and self-development and empowerment. We got to be able to change our appetite. Change our appetite. So if we we first got to change our appetite to be able, most of our fitness, most of it is in what we eat.
That's true.
Oh, absolutely.
And so we got to be able to change our appetite for our community on what we allow what's getting our attention. Because
our mental appetite.
There's a business term called opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is what I sacrifice in order to gain a greater alternative. So if me and OB going out, if we could go bowling, or we can go to the movies. If we choose going bowling, we lose that opportunity to go to the movies. So opportunity cost says I choose, therefore I lose. So if you choose the drama, that's where your seeds is. That's what your investment. You losing the opportunity of no economic empowerment, to know how to sit under a sister and really be groomed about a person who's doing something with their lives. But you're investing in the drama, and you're gonna get what you're gonna reap what you sow.
Wow.
Yeah.
For instance, my wife, I know we got to hear it and go. My wife was telling me when I met her that they couldn't even watch Soul Train growing up. That was a no-no.
Wow.
And I'm like, what?
I watched Soul Train.
But, now I just said this to her the other night. I said, you know what? It might be a blessing that y'all won't ever watch Soul Train. I said, because here's the deal. When you watch those women come down that Soul Train line, you're going to imitate, or the men, you're going to imitate what they did in the house. You're going to get down and shake your booty. Well, hey, my point is, I guess what I'm trying to say is, the education that we need, we're so distracted by entertainment to where I just feel we're not taking advantage of getting our education right, because it's so much stuff on TV, the cell phone now, all that good stuff is distracting us. And for one, kids now have options. I didn't have options.
That's right.
I had to be in certain time, 8 o'clock. I had to do my homework, that type of deal. So these kids now, I'm getting a minute, Mom. And we know why a lot of that is. A lot of the dads are not in the home. We're going to say that for another show.
Yeah.
That's another show.
That's your book. That's your book, OB.
Yeah, we're going to
That's your book.
Too. So but I just, we had a great night tonight. I wasn't really prepared, but I am here. I really enjoyed it, and we had some great call-ins, and everybody definitely gave some great input. Anybody else have anything to say before we shut it down tonight?
Well, I want to make a quick announcement and say, hey, to everyone that's listening to us, that they can come out and meet the crew during happy hour this Friday, October 27th. Where the conversation will be there, HighVibe will be there. We're going to be at the Brick House. Brick House Lounge is in Arlington. It's 2525 Arkansas Lane in Arlington, Texas. We'll be there this Friday. So we look forward to our viewers to coming out and joining us during that time. Now, the happy hours is going to be from 6 to 8, and it's going to include a free buffet. So come hungry as you get through out the traffic. Now, we want you to know that the cover
Free
charge
food.
is going to be $10, and it's going to start at 8 o'clock. That's this Friday, again, October 25th. we'll be there at Brick House Lounge. October 27th. I'm sorry, I said 25th. It's Friday, October 27th at the Brick House Lounge in Arlington. Look forward to seeing you there.
Okay.
High Vibe, we just really appreciate you guys letting us be here.
Yes.
I mean, it has truly been just a wonderful experience, truly a blessing. Lotus J, she is just magnificent. Just makes us feel so welcome when we come in here. So it's just awesome. We're just having a good time coming together, you know, being here on one accord, just really getting out there in the community, and we just really appreciate everything.
Well, I guess that's, if nobody else, I guess that continues our show for tonight. It's our second week. It is going marvelous, and I'm having a great time, and I'm sure you guys are too.
We are.
So all you listeners, please continue to listen to High Vibe and also tune into the conversation.
The conversation.
The conversation.
The conversation.
Conversation.
Yes.